Hey guys, I didn't like that. Hey guys, so it's me, Kimmy, your friend. I don't know if you remember me, but I used to live in Victorville. Now I go to Berkeley, and I'm here. Okay, so today's Thursday. Today's the day I'm supposed to post a video. I actually recorded a video on Monday because I knew that Tuesday I basically didn't have anything to do, so I could edit all day on Tuesday. So I recorded a video on Monday. I did some editing Tuesday. It was looking pretty good, I was pretty proud of myself. But then I was finishing it up right now, and it's really boring. And I don't know if this one's gonna be much better, but I was just watching it, and honestly, I was just telling the story about how I lost my wallet, which I've kind of told most of you at this point anyways, or not most of you, but a few of you. So then for the few of you that I told, it's boring, you're just watching me talk about the same thing again. And I was like, they'll want to watch it, they're my friends, they'll just want to experience me. But then I was like, Kimmy, you're full of yourself. No, they don't, so I'm here now recording a new video, and I guess I'm going to talk about my classes because I started those yesterday, so I'll just let y'all know what happened with that. So my first class, they started Wednesday, today's Thursday, we've gone over this, alright, so my first class was it's called Comp Lit 60 AC. So it's a comparative literature class, and basically, I don't know the actual title of the class, but it's about what makes somebody sound American, and it's kind of from a linguistic standpoint, or it's linguistic, but also voice, sound, tone, word choice, all of that. So yeah, culturally, what makes somebody sound American. And yeah, so I showed up to class. I got there okay, the class started at 10. I got there probably at 9:57, and then I got a seat kind of towards the front because she lost her glasses, she can't see from a distance. So every class I was okay, I gotta make sure I get kind of close. So I did. At first I sat by myself, and then I realized everybody kept sitting next to other people even if they didn't know them, and talking to them and making friends, and I was like, that's a good plan. So I moved a row behind. I asked the person behind me, I was like, is it okay if I sit there? I don't want to be antisocial, So I sat there. There was a long gap of time because I don't think every college does this, but I don't know. But basically there's something called Berkeley time, which is basically a cushion for people to be late. So all of y'all would be good here because you guys are all always late. But anyways, so basically if a class says it starts at 10, it actually starts at 10:10, which I kind of knew. I heard that was a thing, but I wasn't going to risk it my first class. So yeah, not only that, but if I showed up super late, then there's no guarantee I would have gotten a seat where I can actually see, So I talked to the girl sitting next to me for a little bit, but I was really scared the whole time that I was in the wrong class. But I didn't want to ask anyone because I didn't want to look stupid, but I was like, I should ask someone, because if it turns out I'm in the wrong class, once the professor starts talking, I'm not going to leave. So I'll just end up staying in the wrong class and then skip my other class. And, sometimes if they take attendance and you skip a class and there's somebody on the wait list, they might just kick you out of the class. That happens. So I was, kind of scared about it, but I was in the right class. So it all turned out okay. So, let's say 10 minutes before class started. So at 10, my professor started, playing music. He wasn't really talking to anyone. He was just, in the front, organizing his stuff, and he started playing music. And I think that had something to do with the class. I think he mentioned it. I don't really remember, but maybe he just liked the music. I don't know. But I could tell, I was like, this dude seems cool. Not that he played music that I, listened to, but still. It's he seems cool. And so when he started talking, yeah, I just knew I was gonna like him. He seemed really cool. And so, he's white and a guy. And he started talking about white privilege at one point. He's like, yeah, I hope you guys all understand what white privilege is. and I hope you guys all understand and know like what white male privilege is. And he was like, white male privilege is speaking to you right now. And everybody kind of laughed. Like, he seems funny, you know. I like him. I'll probably go to his office hours. I mean, I will at one point, probably next week. Yeah. So it's kind of cool because, you know, I always say I don't have a culture, which like technically isn't true, because even though like American culture isn't original and like it copies a bunch of places and like, yeah, there's still technically a culture there. And so I feel like this class will be cool because it'll help me learn about American culture and like what that is, and then I can use that as like a basis of comparison to other cultures, which is cool. Yeah, so that class was 10 to 11. After that, I went to eat at the dining hall, which was fine. I didn't really know what I was doing, so like there was a bunch of options, but I kind of went to the first line that I saw because I didn't know if there was going to be a bunch of options and I didn't want to look stupid. So it was okay, and like it wasn't bad. It was like chicken and vegetables and stuff, but I ended up seeing somebody else with pizza and I was like, dang it, I wish I could have gotten pizza, you know, but it happens. So then my next class was at 12, and it was Filipino, so I was scared. I don't know why I got nervous. Like, I'm really used to being the only white person with a bunch of Filipinos, but I got nervous because I was like, what if they're mean? I don't know, you know? So I got kind of nervous right beforehand, and then I went in, and this girl started talking to me right away. Like, we sat next to each other. She started talking to me, and she asked me why I was in the class, because obviously I'm not Filipino. So I explained it to her, you know, like, I have a lot of friends that are Filipino, and I really like the culture, and like I'd like to be able to speak the language also, because language is another thing that I'm really interested in. Yeah, basically. So then she was like, oh, okay. She was like, I'm taking it because I'm Filipino, and I was like, yeah, I feel like that's why most people are. But she told me that like basically like she's Filipino, Korean, and Cuban, and Filipino is the part of her culture that she's the least in touch with. But she was saying that she like took like Spanish classes, and she took Korean classes, and now she's taking Filipino classes. So it's kind of cool. Like, she's trying to get more in touch with the cultures that she has, even though she wasn't necessarily raised with those cultures, like, present. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then my professor, I don't know her last name, but she has us call her Tita Chat, which is cool because, like, I don't know, it made me feel really comfortable. Like, just the fact that she, like, has us call her Tita, so it's like, okay. And then, like, she acts just like any of the other Titas, like, that you've ever met. So it was really, like, nice, and she was talking about office hours and saying, like, we could go into gossip or to tell stories or, like, whatever, and she was like, yeah, and she's like, and it stays here. She was like, it'll stay with me. And she said she also has a psychology degree that she got in the Philippines. So yeah, that was cool. She didn't really teach us much. Like, she said phrases and then had us repeat them, and then she taught us po, which is basically like kind of like usted, you know, like it's a respect thing. And then she just kind of went over like what we'll be talking about, the books to get, all that stuff. But yeah, she was really, really cool. So I'm for sure gonna go into her office hours and talk to her. I'll probably tell her about like, well, because she asked me why I was taking the class, and I just kind of said that I have a lot of Filipino friends. And she's like, oh, good, like they can help you, you know. And she was like, that's very like Filipino culture, like to help each other, and like we're all family, and you know, all that stuff. But yeah, so it was really cool. So after that class ended at 1, and then I didn't have another class until 5. So in that time, kind of like got my life together. I found the books that I needed to find and stuff. That way I could send them to my mom and she can order them. And then I called Adrian. Hey Adrian, talked to him for a bit. And then then I talked to Darren for a little bit, and then I went to class. And so that class, when I was walking to class, I was still talking to Darren. and I knew what building the class was in, so I just put that building into GPS and I just kind of went there. And I already kind of left a little bit late, so I wasn't going to get to class until like 5:05, which was fine because it doesn't technically start till 5:10, you know, so I wasn't worried about it. Mad chillin'. And then I got to the building, so I was like, okay, Darren, like, I'm gonna go before I go into the building. And then I hung up and I pulled out my notebook because I wrote down all my classes in there, like where they're at. And so I pulled out my notebook to check the classroom number, which is when I realized that I went to the wrong building. I went to the building where my discussion for my ethnic studies class is at, but not where the lecture is at, and I needed to be where the lecture was. So I had to go over there, which gave me anxiety because I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna have to walk in like while she's talking, and I hate that. And like other people did it with my other professors and it was fine, like it wasn't a big deal, but I just didn't want to do it. Yeah, so I like went over there, I walked as fast as my little legs could, you know, and I got there at like exactly 5:10, and then I got a seat still kind of close to the front. So yeah, that was cool. My ethnic studies professor, don't know her name either, but she's cool. Like I could tell that I would like her as a person. She kind of reminds me of, I don't think I should say names, but she kind of reminds me of a math teacher that I've had, because she seems a little bit like, she seemed a little bit flustered and unorganized, and she seemed kind of nervous. And she said, like, basically since 2008 she's been teaching at a university in Wyoming, which is small, like small university, you know, small class sizes. And then this is the first year she's teaching at Berkeley, and she literally just moved here from Wyoming like 2 weeks ago, so she's not even like unpacked or anything yet. So I'm sure she had like a lot going on in her mind, and that's probably like why she was kind of, yeah. But it kind of worries me a little bit. Like, I think she might not be a good professor, she might not be a good teacher, but I like her as a person. Like, she's cool, and I'm hoping that like once she like gets everything organized here, then like she'll get better at it. I have faith in her. I think it'll go well. Yeah. And then after that, that was my last class. It ended at 6, and then at 6:30 I went to Clarice's church thing. They had like a welcome night, and it was cool. Yeah, they had Korean barbecue, so I kind of brought like a couple of my friends. One of the friends I brought, his name's Dylan, he's Filipino. He's probably my closest friend here right now, and yeah, he's something. It's a lot to explain in one video, but like, he's cool. I like him. But I could tell like kind of gonna have to be his mom, and he says like dumb and offensive things, which I'm used to, you know. But like I have to kind of like, Dylan, no, don't say that. But it's funny. And then I saw Brianna. Yeah, Brianna Huynh. I saw her. Well, I saw her for the first time a few days ago, but it was very brief. Like, we just saw each other. We're like, oh my gosh, hi, like, we have to hang out. But she came to Clarice's thing, so we, like, actually had the chance to talk a little bit, which was really nice. And it was, like, me, Clarice, Kayla, and Brianna were all there. So it was like, hey, you know, UP squad, Victorville squad, you know, like, what's up? So that was kind of cool. And, yeah, it was fun. We had food, played some games. There was, like, a message. It was about, like, whether or not there's something more, and basically just trying to get people to pursue it. Not saying like there for sure is something more, but it was just like maybe you should look into it, you know? And then I came back here to my dorm, and then I, you know, watched some Hulu and went to sleep. And now here I am, and it is 11:03, and I have my next class at 12, or my first class, my only class for today, at 12. It's Filipino, so I'm excited for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go eat because I do that now. Been eating a lot actually, so pretty proud. Yeah, so I'm gonna go eat, and hopefully this video is more interesting than the last one, and I'll talk to y'all later. That's it. I don't know how to end it. I don't know how to end a video, but